D.T. Shukla, Principal, Alpha College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. Dr. Surendra, Director, Rajasthan Institution of Engineering and Technology, Jaipur. Invite Professor K.C. Singhal, Vice Chancellor, NIMS University, Jaipur, to start with the first presentation.
A misfit in this session because this relates to manufacturing superpower and another technological session, whereas I am a medical person and I am a medically related research I have been doing all through. Anyway, I'd like to present some of my views with regard to technological education. We have got Goddess of Wisdom, Saraswati, who we pray before going to any event in an educational institution. And when we go to Vedic education, India's history of education is, I think, oldest on this earth. And ideals of Vedic education were artists, thinkers, saints, and philosophers. They make the nation. Nations are not made by traders and politicians. So when we talk of artists, we talk of architects, we talk of technology people, we talk of engineers, we talk of doctors and all that. Thinkers, philosophers, they give ideas. And saints, they impart moral values. So with this amalgamation of all together makes a nation. Traders and politicians, they intrude into the education system, which they have. And when they intrude in the education system, they make more a spoil rather than they could be of much use. In ancient scriptures, Vedic mantras, Ved Vyas edited them into 4 books. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharveda. That's the basic concept and basic knowledge on the base of which the entire education system of India is based. And we had Gurukul system of medicine, where teachers were there, the students were taught in an isolated environment, away from their families, and they were given all types of education by our teachers. And this was a unique system of education, and unfortunately that system was abolished. The ideals of our education were self-realization, that is, pray to God, development of healthy physique, cultural aims of education were there, and the love for learning and teaching, character formation, synthesis between individual and social aims of education. That is what we are concerning now. When individual aims and social aims, they start differing from each other, we lose the concept of nation building. And unless there is all-round building of the personality of a student, we cannot expect a nation to progress. We had several universities, Nalanda, Taxila, they were destroyed by invaders. And from there, the decline of our system of education started. Rejuvenation was done, Hindu College in Calcutta was established, Shanti Niketan was established, and so many other institutions came up. And when we came to such a low level, when educated people were not available, even to the rulers, then they started an education system by Lord Mackallop, Mokele, and it was in 1757 and up to 1947 that education we had. They wanted people for their own purpose. They wanted people for their offices. They wanted people to rule and govern in the nation. They wanted people who could treat minor ailments. They wanted people who could supervise their construction business. And what happened was that when I come to technology and technical education, the first institution of technical education was established in Roorkee. Initially as a school, and then Thompson Engineering School, later on converted to university, and now it's a big institution. And Thompson Engineering College was established with the prime aim of supervising constructions which Britishers were programming in different parts of the country. So we produced supervisors. The aim was not to make them engineers or technicians. The aim was primarily to make supervisors so they can supervise the masons and all those persons, and the construction work can go on. We have not come out from that mentality as yet. What our engineering colleges are doing? We are still producing supervisors. What a student learn in engineering college? Absolutely nothing. I have been Vice Chancellor of this university for the last 7 years. We have got engineering college. I have visited so many engineering colleges. I studied in the universities where engineering colleges were there. I have been to at least 40-45 countries of the world and seen engineering colleges there. In America, an engineer calls himself a technician. Nobody calls himself an engineer. They say, I'm a technician, I'm working with such as Ford Motors or where. But here, engineer is Sahab. And there is a gradation from lowest to the highest. Each one is supervising the other. Because they cannot do anything. They got absolutely no knowledge of doing anything. They only learned that. So each one is supervising the other, and finally the politician. So that is the system. And that system we have to change. If we really want to progress, the country has to progress, we have to make technical education a really useful education for our country. Universities, as has been pointed out by many, knowledge generation. Starting knowledge generation from the day one, knowledge dissemination, and finally, the most important is society building. So with these aims, a university is established, but the universities are doing what is required of them. Are they doing knowledge generation research, or it stops in laboratories? It stops with the publication research papers which are required for their promotion. Does these publication or their research work, whatever they're doing, is useful in any way to the industry? And the answer is absolute no. People are talking that Indian students go there and they work and they are published very good research papers and all that. And they are very successful there. The orientation of research in America and all those countries is industry oriented. We have got no direction for research. And when research is done without any direction or aim or purpose, the same thing will happen which is happening in our country. For quality research, we require infrastructure. We require talented research-oriented faculty. And we have to outdo with the outmoded approach to curriculum, and there is very low public spend. I was talking to two of my friends when I came in this hall. I was outside, we were talking about the infrastructure. You go to technical institutions, any engineering college, what they have? They have outdated lathe machine, other equipment which is not working. And the student has never worked on them. It is just a showpiece. Because AICT or any agency, if it comes, they say that we have got here these equipments. Then why we talk of reaching heights, talented research-oriented faculty? We don't have faculty. Most of the engineering graduates, they do not want to go to teaching. Only third raters are taking teaching as a profession. MTech is awarded on plate. The only requirement is that you take MTech from plate, go to the interview, get selected and start teaching. You know anything or not? The curriculum, it has not been revised. What happens is that in engineering education, you have got as many syllabus as many universities. And the curriculum is entirely different, because this is the autonomy of the university. So to preserve, in the name of preserving autonomy of the university, we have given a free, open field to play, and you do whatever you like. Is that curriculum or the syllabus anyway related to industry? Is anyway useful to? Or it is in the Macaulay's line, the same thing is going on, that we are making engineer Sahab. We are not doing anything. So that requires introspection. I give you an example that in medical education, we have got one syllabus for all the medical colleges of the country, whether they are government, private or whatever. There is one curriculum. There is a guideline that only this person can be professor, reader or lecturer. Nobody can be, and nobody is there that way. There has to be a hospital attached with so many beds and so many facilities in each department and so many beds in each department. What do you have for engineering colleges? Is any engineering college attached to any industry? In the name of exposure to industry, the student goes there, gets a fake certificate of his presence, and he go for just for fun. He does not gain any knowledge or does not do anything. So from this we have to come out. I think we require to think over. Do we require as many syllabus of curricula as many engineering colleges in the country. We can teach whatever we like. We teach physics, chemistry, mathematics in first year. That is going on for last 50 years. What physics, what chemistry, what mathematics? Is this anywhere related to the engineering subjects? So we have to find out one core syllabus which could be common to all the branches of engineering, and then we have to have a specialized syllabus for different branches. And that is done only in the namesake. Now if we look at the enrollment of students in higher education, engineering, technology, about 16 to 17% student, they are enrolled. Medicine, it is only 3.85 or 4%. Science, again 18%, commerce 17%, arts 36%, and so on. So that is the spectrum of enrollment of students in our country. So with this large force of technical people who are getting enrolled in education in the country, what we are gaining? So what is required is a relationship between industry and academic institutions. Transfer university created research to industry. That should be relevant research which should be done, and this should transfer to universities. Universities transfer them to the industry. So what does it mean? I feel, that's my opinion, I may be wrong, that engineering institution should be linked to industry, or industry should own these engineering institutions. There was only one, that is Jamalpur Engineering College for railways, so that they trained the engineers for railway services, and I think, I don't know whether there is any other institution in the country. Oh, okay, they could be.
Means yesterday only I came to know when I was traveling to Jaipur.
Okay.
ISRO has their college at Trivandrum.
Trivandrum. Okay. So that is the second one.
ISRO.
Yeah. But we should have similar association, because we cannot abolish the engineering colleges which are there, existent. We have got industries around.
And
So
third one is coming up in Gujarat.
Gujarat.
GSFC University,
Okay.
promoted by GSFC itself.
That's good. So the things have started changing in the direction. So education has to be geared towards employment. Curricula, right mix of theory and practice, and they should be interaction with the industry. So dichotomy between skill provided and skill required should be abolished. We should only provide those skills which are required by the industry, and rest we can delete from our syllabus and curriculum. Then outdated machinery, tools and technology, that should be put on the backside, and we should provide in the laboratories only those equipments which the student might use in his lifetime anywhere. Then training is very important of such students. India has got, if we count countries, labor force in 20 to 25 years of age who have undergone formal vocational training. In India, the figure is only 5%. Mexico, it is 28%. Most industrialized nations is 60 to 80%, and Korea, it is 96%. What we are seeing the spectrum, that only 18% students were going to engineering, about 4% to medicine, and the rest were there for arts and science subjects. So we have to change that spectrum if we have to go up, because We are at the lowest ebb, 5%. So our training institution should give opportunity to the students. Then look at a very interesting figure. Unemployed in rural India, 57%. Unemployed in urban area, 65%. At total skilled labor force, rural 8.3%, urban 15.6%. The skilled force is low in rural areas, but still the employability is the same. So where do we lack? How do we correct this? By providing a skill to our labor force. So we have to expand our vocational education. Higher technical education should be revamped and upgraded, and there should be research which should be designed for industry, and skill development should be there. Those who are educationists, they may know the Kothari Commission report was submitted, and a report which is shared or does not lead to action is worse than the report, because it leads to frustration by arousing hopes that remain unfulfilled. Kothari Commission recommendation were not implemented. And academic standards once lowered are not receivable, and Graham's law is applicable to them. So we should make efforts that academic standards do not go down. Kothari Commission again said no funds for blackboards, no funds for repair for buildings, no funds for equipment, and no funds for research activities. When there are no funds for all these, what we can think of? So we have to evaluate. So cake and biscuit is not good food for starving people, nor a television set good for a school that has no building. And knowledge alone without knowing how to apply it is inadequate. Students both rigorous and relevant standards if they are to prepare to function in a technologically based society. William Dagger said, so we have to focus on industry certification and create employment through industrialization, attract foreign investors, ensure the skill of the workforce, and there should be tie-up, as I had talked about, that industry and academia, they should have a tie-up, and without that, I think nothing can be done, and each university should develop expertise in one particular area. And this, if you look at the global share of scientific publications, there was no English in China. When I visited there in 1986, people did not understand English. But now, the global scientific publication, China has more than 20%, and India is staggering at 3.5% when we had English from much longer. So with this, I thank you very much for your patient listening. And another thing I would like to say, there's a lot of talk about how to impart education. Lot has been done and nothing has been achieved. We still do not know what is the best way of teaching. We talk of West. In America, I just give you in 1 minute one example, that in America there is an examination called USMLE. And that USMLE examination is for graduates of medicine from anywhere in the world. They can appear in the examination, and they pass that examination, they are qualified to become residents. So they start their career as doctors, as residents from there. There were two streams in America. One was problem-based learning, which is active learning, where no bars of attendance or anything, the student are in a small group. I will not go into details of the problem-based learning. And another, the traditional learning. Each one said that we are better. But when the result of these two groups was compared for their qualification of USMLE examination, there was no difference. So we do not know what is best for our students. Everybody is talking about, everybody is giving his opinion, but we have to look into how best we can teach our students. Thank you very much.
To invite Dr. D.D. Shukla, Principal, Alpha College of Engineering, Ahmedabad, on the podium.
Good morning. Thank you very much, elects, for giving me such a big opportunity to speak in front of such a august gathering, and especially vice chancellors, because I am a principal of one college, and today I am speaking in front of vice chancellors, so I am little worried. So please pardon me if anything. Theme is Make in India. So let us. I would like to share one thing with you. Actually, progress of any country is decided by consumption of three things, that is steel, cement and electricity consumption. And today, as you know, USA is no more superpower, China is superpower, and highest consumption of steel, cement and electricity is in China. And second emerging superpower is going to be India, that is sure. Now how we can achieve all these things?
That is not true in terms of per capita. The right measure is per capita.
Okay,
So
sir.
they have the volume,
Okay, sir.
but if you look per person consumption of all these things,
Then US still there.
Okay,
Per
okay,
capita
okay.
income is also that is irrelevant because it is per person's happiness that is matters.
Okay, okay. Fine, sir. Okay. So Make in India is a theme given by our Prime Minister. It's a, you can say we should start producing things in India, but for that we need to do lot of homework, for that we need to do lot of work. Government also need to do lot of work, and from our side also we need to produce entrepreneurs rather than engineers, right? So there is a big role of government, because just now I read one news that was quoted by Deepak Parikh, chairman of HDFC Group. He very nicely quoted about whatever policies that Narendra Modi ji is adopting. Say, still we need to relax our policies, government policies. Still we need to come out from orthodox system that was established before 40-50 years by old party, that is means Congress or whatever party they have implied. Means still we need relaxation, then and then foreign investment will come over here, and then we can establish more and more industry, and then we can produce more and more employability. That is true. So this is a high time, because since government has already 9 months has passed and still they are not able to work out some concrete. To speak something and to implement is totally different. So engineering, now how we can produce entrepreneurs? For that we have started one initiative in collaboration with CED department, that is Government of Gujarat department is there, Entrepreneurship Development Cell. In collaboration with CED department, we are regularly conducting lectures and seminars, and in those lectures for final year engineering students, and in those lectures we are guiding students how to establish their own industry. They are giving guidelines for more than 1,500 industry, how they can avail subsidies from government, what benefits they will get as an engineer, and how can they start their own business. So that way we are helping our budding engineers. So vision is very good, but as you know, our policies are always best, because Policies are not fabricated, policies are not formed by politicians, always policies are formed by IAS officers. That's why policies are always best, but when there is a time of implementation, things goes wrong. So that is the thing. So let's hope this time it will work out. Innovation, so many things that we need to innovate, so many things that we need to still work out. Sometimes if I talk about 1990, in 1990 Gujarat was having only 6 engineering colleges, that also government engineering colleges. Today's scenario is that Gujarat is having more than 129 engineering colleges. Somehow demand and supply is not matching, engineers are not getting job, that is the scenario. In front of Vice Chancellor, I would like to say one thing. We are working under GTU, that is Gujarat Technological University. Our syllabus is good, but as it was told by Bala sir also, why our university are not in top 20 list, top 50 list. Right, our syllabus is good, but we are not following what industries require, what industries need is there. So somewhere we are lagging, that is sure, and for that we need to do lot of things. Made in China. Why China is ahead? You know, in China each and every building has expiry date. Suppose today if we are talking in Hotel Sheraton, same hotel is there in China, then after 5 years if you visit Shanghai city or this, you may not find this hotel. So there is a thing. And why right from Apple, Samsung, every company is establishing their plants in China. They are giving within 24 hours, the government policies are so relaxed. They are providing electricity, they are providing land, they are doing necessary legal documents, and they are facilitating all the entrepreneurs. That means they are able to run the plant within 24 hours or 48 hours. You have been given allocated space where you can start your manufacturing all the things. That's why whatever things we are getting from all the big companies, that is made in China. So the same thing we can do over here. For that, whatever things is suggested by Deepak Parikh is totally correct. We should relax our policy and we should come out of this bureaucracy. Then and then things can be possible. Without saying much, I would like to show you one small clip. Sound is connected. Thank you very much. In addition to that, this presentation, I would like to, as we are discussing about education system, so whatever activities I am doing in my college, that I would like to tell you within 1 minute. I will not take much time. As I think, if I am not wrong, sir from BML University said about joy of learning. Same way we are doing, we have formulated one club, that is Joy of Giving Club. So under that club we are means our students, we have divided Ahmedabad city into different areas and we have identified slums. In slums we are conducting literacy program, and that is totally done by students of engineering colleges, right? and we are providing them blankets, we are giving them food, we are giving them stationaries. Means we have started some sort of literacy program to help slums around Ahmedabad, and that also it's a totally optional, means it's not a compulsion. If student wish, they can join. So finally, in conclusion, I can say, as a Make in India, if you want to realize all these things can happen, so 4 points I have found out. I hope you maybe agree with me. That is, create more entrepreneurs than engineers. Second, government policies should be relaxed. Third, to attract more and more foreign investment, whatever things Swachhta Bharat Abhiyan Modi ji has started, that is behind starting that motive. Main motive is because in all over world, foreigners, in one of presentation, I attended one of presentation in Nirma University. One German engineer was giving presentation, and I was, you can say I was literally crying, because he started a presentation by showing Indian slums. The topic was hydraulic system, and he started his presentation by showing Indian slums. He started his presentation by showing poor. Means in all over world, our image is such that India is a country of poor. Nobody will show you this type of conference photographs. Nobody will show you good things. But everywhere it is. That's why our Prime Minister has started this thing to attract foreign investment and to improve our image. And last point is, quality should not be compromised by AICT at any cost. Right? Thank you. Any questions?
That's a big question mark. Is it true? Nothing is true.
Flexibility and restriction.
No, in the name of flexibility in promoting
Yeah.
colleges,
Right.
everything is done. Yes.
So,
I have a quick comment on this. You see, the theme is how do we leverage. Now, if you look at it quickly, one, we started in the morning. You have to have education which is practical. That means a student works hands-on, and as Mr. Sharma said, he should have the pride of being a technician. One. Two, in the universities, every engineering student should be given management inputs. In case you want Make in India to be linked to this, which means...
sorry to interrupt you. Same one, it's compulsory to clear that subject, entrepreneurship, for final year students in
I am not talking on the subject.
Okay,
because
fine.
subject is tells you what are the risks of entrepreneur, what are the there is not.
Okay.
So it is actually, let us say, you put it like this. In my university, we are yet to go through this, but after second year, the students will is the option go to Imperial, where he will be trained to generate ideas, develop a business plan, and present this business plan to possible people who can back this with money, the venture capital and things like that. So, connecting engineering education with Make in India is actually creating an ecosystem on the campus.
Excellent.
Which means first training people to be like that. Second, facilitating their transformation into possible entrepreneurs. Three, creating incubation center, which is a separate session. We will discuss this at that point of time. But there is no doubt that in case this reorientation is done, the engineering education can actually lead to better Make in India. That is true.
Correct.
Foreign investment, whatever we say. But the question was, do we not have enough fund to generate employments? India has enough funds if it is properly channelized. Number two, education, industry-based education. I think NIMS professor or he rightly said that no engineering colleges or very few engineering colleges have a direct industry link. It is so good on the paper that you have so many industries linkages. So engineering education has to be a blue collar education too. An engineer must be prepared to work on the floor rather than becoming a supervisor.
Correct.
Number three, if really we want to make in India, then workforce is very much required. Korea has 96% workforce, is official data, whatever the professor has said, whereas India has only 5%. Where we can make in India? If vocational institutes are not being properly nourished, that's a part of our education system. Those who could not go up for higher education, terminate at 10th standard or 6th standard and 7th standard, they should be motivated to go to a vocational colleges and prepare them to do the right work. Then you can produce in mass. You told about China. I have very good friends who are frequently visiting China. True, China attracts the fund, but on the other side of the coin, if you go to the inner side of the China where nobody is allowed to go. So, person has rightly told what is the gross happiness in China. Quality of the products of the China.
No,
The
sir,
sale costing 2 rupees, you have to throw it out. Anyway,
sorry.
these are all different
Nahi,
issues.
for last question, I am totally not agree with you, sir. China is producing different category wise product. Suppose you are buying one laptop. So A category, if you are purchasing A category laptop, then you need to pay high, right? Same thing is available with means lower cost. So it again depends which quality you are buying. All Chinese goods are bad. That is not true also.
So see,
So,
the beauty of
I have
product
one
is
comment
their
and one suggestion.
Sure, sir. Welcome.
Comment is that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Make in India, whether the previous governments have not tried to attract foreign investment, because the world market, and though the government of India is opposing TRIPS agreement by tooth and nail, because that is not in the favor of Indian economy. And we have bitter test that Britishers came as traders in India and ruled India.
Exactly.
Why we are now again trying to re-roll that very wheel in that very side, that we can be controlled by USA and UK in 10 to 15 years.
Let the government
Number one. Number two, the example I will give you. Pizza will be available on railway in 15 minutes. Is pizza a product of India? So government is talking of one thing, implementing another thing. Just defooling tactics have been followed by all the governments, not only Modi government, but previous governments also, number one. Number two, so far as the less number of workforce is concerned, many workforce people are available in rural area, because 76% population belongs to rural area. But unfortunately, the unequal development led to urbanization. People are moving from rural areas to urban areas. Village houses are lying vacant and the cities are overcrowded. Government is following same policy, that give all facilities to the urban areas and ignore as far as possible to the rural areas. So my suggestion is that there should be a Make in India based on rural industry. Rural education should be a role model for the development of the country. So rural education for development should be promoted and a new setup should be constituted. New setup should be there for rural education right from village level to national level. Then only
Sir, I
we
don't know.
will be able to.
Yes, sir. I don't know about other state, but in Gujarat, sir.
Number one, just complete. Allow me to complete. I have a project, and in the next All India Associations conference, AIU's conference, AIU conference, Association of Indian Universities Vice Chancellors conference, I have given an agenda item, and I will present my project there about Fed, and that I will be presenting there. And I will request the AIU people after the conference that they circulate it to the all the vice chancellors, and they should be requested to forward that to the MHRD minister so that they can implement and incorporate that in the right perspective so that our country in real sense can develop with the title Make in India. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. We would now like to invite Dr. Surendra, Director, Rajasthan Institution of Engineering and Technology, Jaipur, for the next presentation.
But it looks that I should not be considered as the last best man in between you and your lunch. Please give me some time. Now, there has been a very good discussions on various topics today. How do we impart quality educations? What are the requirements of our industries? How do we take it forward? And I'm really grateful to digital learning that they have provided us this opportunity to share our views in a very frank way. I think this is my fourth occasion I am having with digital learning. The very first one, if I remember it correctly, it was long before in VJTI, Mumbai. I think it was an open software session organized by them. So I am really grateful to them. Now, this particular topic, Make in India, I consider it as one of the very near topic to all of us, because Make in India, by now you know what it stands for, what is the meaning of it. It symbolizes, according to me, it symbolizes every one of us as Indian. It is not only the rigorous manufacturing process, it is the upliftment of our society, our country, directly related to me in person as an Indian. So we have to take it in this way. In a very short time, this particular logo has already gained that kind of momentum. I will not go into detail of this one. Now, what we are here today to see how the domains, these two domains covered under Make in India, and domains and scope provided by engineering educations are overlapping with each other. According to me, engineering education, which is the backbone of any country, engineering and technology are the wheels of this particular nation or any nation, to place a nation, to take the nation to its position on the world map. That is why technology and engineering education is very, very important, and leaving few things apart, what Dr. Shukla has already said about the government procedures and processes, leaving those things apart, engineering education is a superset of Make in India. I will let you know. Now, engineering education is a very, very simple definition. I am not going to go into the detail of this one. You can find ABET, American Board of Engineering and Technology. ABET, we have already adopted ABET standards and ABET procedures in our curriculum, in our processes of education. But in nutshell, engineering education is basically to make use of applied research in sciences to create certain things, certain devices which are useful for mankind. This is a very, very simple of engineering education. This basically is literary also. It consists of two words, engineering and education. Engineering means, simple meaning, building, creativity, and education means a training. So this is basically a training in creativity, training in manufacturing by the name itself, training in building. So according to me, as I've already told you, Make in India is completely covered in engineering education. Only leaving aside few parts, that government procedures, and if if we are really lucky, we pray to God that we are lucky, that in this government, new government, if it has given us this initiative of Make in India, I think government is bound morally to provide us all those facilities in the shortest possible manner, which will provide us our platform to start really Make in India. I am really afraid, and Dr. Shukla has very rightly said that what is the difference in procedure adopted by China to declare that, okay, you can start manufacturing certain things, and the procedure adopted in India, how much time, red tape it takes. I should not go into details of this one. Now, this particular slide tells you the overlapping domain of manufacturing and engineering education. Let me tell you, Make in India, basically, as I told you, I take it in totality. It's not only a rigorous manufacturing process, I take it in totality. Even my behavior as an Indian, even my culture as an Indian, even the way we are in India, I would like to cover in Make in India. That is not only the manufacturing process. So it basically includes our business processes, industries, our society, community, and healthcare. Healthcare engineering is coming in a big way. I'm really telling you, these are some of the things which are to be emphasized in a proper perspective by our government and by our organizers and by our stakeholders. So that is why this particular tells you that basically engineering education is providing support to all those blocks, and these blocks are automatically covered in Make in India. So now, let me come to a very simple engineering education. There are basically of any engineering education or any system for that, whatever it may be, there are only three basic components. You have the inputs on one side, processing of that particular system, and the generated outputs on the other side. I would, because of the time constraints, I may not go into three details of this one, but whatever inputs we have, as you know, for the last few decades, when the expansion started of the technical education, it started by an order which was issued by Indian government in somewhere in 1981 or so, and it was coming in picture in 1983 when the privatization of technical education started. Well, this was in a good sense because our country wanted to create a skilled task force. We wanted to really, because at that time, even today, as my colleagues and my other persons have told, we have not come to that level. Even today, we are not having that much percentage of your enrollment for higher studies. Okay, but then at that time it was thought, 1981-82, that let us start engineering education in technology in a big way, and there was a project taken by Department of Higher Technical Education, supported by DT of states, that was known as IMPACT. Some of you might be knowing about that. That was basically how do we train teachers who will be our teachers in technical education. And your IITs, etc., and some of the government colleges became center for that particular training. But unfortunately that did not work out. Maybe reasons I may tell you some other time, but not today. And processes, according to me, engineering education is a process which supports everything, as I have already told you. The output of this particular one, which we call the so-called trained engineers, I'm really sorry to say that we are not coming to our definitions. We are not producing the trained engineers or skilled manpower. We are simply producing a person with some certificates. And this I'm really with due respect to all our engineering institutions of higher learning like IITs and some of the government centers and even some of the private centers, I give good regards to them, but most of the 90% of the colleges in our country are simply producing something. And that is the reason that people said in every survey people say that there are only not more than 25% of the so-called engineers employed. They are useless as far as industry or the productivity or the manufacturing process is concerned. So that's why, but now let us see, this is a simple block which I have already said, but we have to be careful about few things. whatever inputs we get, we are to produce world-class outputs. Any engineering institution should take it for granted. If they are the engineering institution, if they are the system, they should not say, "Arey bhai kya kare? We are getting that kind of students, this kind of stuff we are getting, this and that." But world is expecting from them, as far as output is concerned, world expects a world-class output from them. In addition to that, an institution has to look after the needs of the society. In addition to that, a feedback for optimization, for the better yield of any system. Feedback is very, very important. And I am really telling you, in most of the engineering institutions, they do not bother about feedback, where their students are going, and I think they do not have any record of that. And they do not go to the employers, "What kind of deficiency our products are having, please tell us." With due regards to all of you, but you might be knowing this, that this exercise is not done. We do not go to the industry to find out how our products are performing, which is very, very important for the health of the basic system itself. Another thing is, this is lacking like hell. R&D and innovations. In 90% of the institutions, this is lacking. And you know, of course, few institutions say that our faculty have produced 96 papers this time. And if you go through those papers, the practical aspects of that particular research is missing. This is something they do for simulation, and sometimes the jugglery of the certain mathematical equations, certain computational techniques here and there. This is what they call research. So that is why a pure research and innovation which will lead you to your initiative of Make in India, that is lacking. And I am sorry to say, if you do not have this thing in your institution, you will not be able to contribute to the Make in India. Okay? So that is why we have to be careful about it. Anyway, I will not go through into this. This is a very good slide. I have already given these slides to Madam. If somebody is interested, they can have it. Okay? But because of the time constraint, this is what I have said. A system should see what it is going to be, how it can adapt to the dynamically changing scenario of the world, and prepare itself to face the challenges accordingly. Now, these are the challenges and threats. If we have to prepare our engineering education to meet the requirements of Make in India, I have already said that in principle, in theory, engineering education will provide everything, whatever is required for Make in India. But in practical, in ground realities, it is up to you to decide, you to see, you to observe what you are, what we are, at what level we all are. Okay? So that is why challenges and threats, dynamically changing needs of society, industry and corporate world, rapid advancements in technology and its influence on society and exposure to instance. My friend, Professor Dr. Balakrishnan, has already devoted a lot of time on the modern techniques of ICT, how they can be used and what kind of things they have. And that is why society and exposure to students, emerging of new learning tools and techniques, MOOCs is one of them. But unless you provide a sort of a control, our Professor Dr. Prem Kumar was very much right, that you need many things in MOOCs. MOOCs should be separate for students and teachers, and MOOCs is not simply collection of a certain information database on open line courseware structure. It is something, it is to be devised, it is to be integrated with certain platforms which provides a control. Okay? The control could be like Moodle. Those who are familiar with Moodle, they can make use of that facility, sort of integrate the courseware and available information into that and make use of this. Anyway, that's a different thing. Changing in learning patterns, it's very, very important. Unless you adopt your education system, imparting quality education, looking into the changing in learning patterns, you will fail miserably. Your students will be simply boring. And you will see that there is every now and then, on alternate day at least, you will have a mass bunk. Okay? So that's why you have to. Now, this rapid advancements also create technological obsolescence in man and machines at faster rate. It's a very, 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 very dangerous situation. Impact of globalization, cutthroat competition, and you are exposed under the sun of globalization. There are, of course, many advantages of globalization, but there are certain disadvantages which you have to prepare for. Then you have your interdisciplinary dependency. Now engineering, a mechanical engineering is not a simply your hathoda and something. It has become interdisciplinary. Likewise, every engineering discipline has become a multidisciplinary. So you have to have multidisciplinary and multidimensional approach for imparting quality knowledge to your students. Scarcity of qualified teachers, trainers and resource persons, lack of standardization. My dear friends, you were talking about brain drain, brain movement and brain integration. Now you see, earlier this lack of standardization was not that important. A sort of shopkeeper might do anything in this thing. A simple vendor, a simple manufacturer could create something for local consumption. But now because globalization is coming in market, you have to have certain standards. So you have to certain standards of your practices, certain standards of your products. So that is why standardization is very important. Let me tell you this word standardization. I am very fond of it. When I was in atomic energy, even in 1976 or so, 71 or so, I joined atomic energy in 1966 or so. At the time I was told, if you want to be a successful, you have to work in standards. Because today you are working in this particular laboratory in India, in Cyrus or Dhruva reactor or whatever it may be. Tomorrow if you have to go to Berkeley or Daisy at Hamburg or CERN at Geneva, you must feel familiar, or you must homely feel with the environment. And that you can do only when you have the standard practices adopted in your business here. Then you can run your business sitting from anywhere. Okay, now I think we are already late for this one. Okay, now, and these are the other parameters which you can, very simple. How the student-teacher relationship is changing, recognition of society, lack of effective teachers training, and internal brain drain. Yes, internal brain drain, that as you have already said, the intelligent people are not coming forward for teaching. They go for different. This one, okay. Now, yeah, this I never wanted to show, but I am forced to show. Really, this is what is happening. Where the students should have been, where they are now. Okay, the best brain should have gone to research than to teachers. If I am given a choice, what kind of teachers there be should for teaching my, of course, grandsons now, then I will say they should be the best one. But from where to get the best teachers? So this is what it is. Now we are at the crossroads, very rightly. I think every now more than 20 million graduates are, intermediate 10+2 students are being educated in our country. And what engineers, the so-called skilled persons we have, no, you cannot do it. Okay, so that is why these are the conflicting issues. On one hand, and yes, it is true, if we do not increase our capacity of teaching by 15% every time, capacity of higher learning, we may not cope up with the international scenario. But what we are teaching, so that is why these are the conflicting requirements here. Okay, so are we ready to make use of our engineering education to make in India? The answer is no. So that is why we must prepare ourselves. Okay, who should prepare? Ourselves means what? The stakeholders of the system including your education system and Make in India system. What are those? They are everybody, okay? Your society and the nation, your business and industry, and the management, of course, that comes to the central place, and of course the parents and students and their parents. But finally, who are the persons involved? There are only 3 stakeholders which are involved 100%, that is student, management and employer. So if you have to make your education system somewhat better, these 3 persons should be responsible. I will not go into the details of the management. We all are management here. Of course, they are doing good. But, well, there was a time when institutions were open only to make money. I don't want to go into details of those things. You are all, you have good sort of this one. But at least let us say, let us leave management. They have provided us building, they have provided us some instrument. But now, student and the employer. Yes, student is paying. His component student is paying. But what industries are doing? Nothing. What they are doing? Tell me what they are doing. And they are the main beneficiary of the education system. अगर बच्चा आपका पढ़ाया हुआ एम्प्लॉय होता है तो कहाँ होता है? इंडस्ट्री में. फायदा किसको होता है? इंडस्ट्री को. And what they give back to the where the student was taught? Nothing. So that's why this question I raised, I think in 2005. I was invited by AICT in Pune. At that time also I said, unless these employers, the organizations where our students are employed, they start paying some amount to the institutions from where the student graduated. Because graduated I take as a basic degree as far as your Make in India program is concerned. Okay? But anyway, at that time they say, everybody laughed, or it is so difficult. So it is my request to all the IT professionals, if they can do it, it will be really very good. And then you can have control over that money. Let there be observer from the government for that particular part of money. In IIT people are doing. Khosla has created a complete center in Kanpur. Your, what is his name? That is, in IIT Mumbai there is an institution name in that name, IT institution, in that particular NRI name. He gave crores and crores, hundreds of crores of rupees. But in general, in 90% type of engineering colleges, nothing is coming. Anyway, I think I should do. Research is a very important component. It should be integrated. Research, development and innovation. Then of course you have relation with the society. I think these are some of the things I should skip. Research, quality and excellence. These are very important. They are reinforcements. They provide the RCC cycle. Okay, and to provide a synergic effect for your institution, for the learning of your students and teachers. Then relation of research and development and national growth, nobody can say. So that is why I take national growth, but Make in India. What is national growth? Make in India. Research and development of the academic institution is directly related to Make in India. But then support should come from producing national growth. Then only your research and development in institution is sustainable. Okay? To create a center of excellence. I have used one word here, industry institution convergence. There is a new word. I do not believe in industry institution interaction. This is just like a भीख मांगने वाली बात मानता हूँ भाई मैं तो. जब तक, I think our Singhal Sahab has rightly said, जब तक इंडस्ट्रियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को डायरेक्टली नहीं देखेंगे, आपका ये काम नहीं चलेगा. ओके, ये मैं छोड़ता हूँ, ये भी छोड़ता हूँ. ये आप पढ़ लीजिए. आई एम सॉरी मैडम, ये थोड़ा सा समय लीजिए. मनी टू कम फ्रॉम इट्स बेनिफिशियरीज. ये तो बिल्कुल ठीक है ना भाई. किसी भी सिस्टम को अगर सस्टेन करना है, सरवाइव करना है, इट नीड्स मनी. वो है ना पानी का जो रहीमन ने एक दोहा कहा था, रहीमन पानी राखिए बिन पानी सब सून, पानी गए ना उबरे मोती मानस चून. पानी का मतलब जल भी है, पानी का मतलब आब चमक पैसा भी है, और पानी का मतलब इज्जत भी है, रेस्पेक्ट. तो भाई ये पैसा चमक जो है ये ऐसी है कि इसके बिना कुछ नहीं उभरता है. तो अगर आपको अपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम्स को उभारना है, उसको में पैसे लगाइए. अब मैनेजमेंट कहाँ से लगाए? तो फिर दूसरा बचता है वो कि जो मेन बेनिफिशियरी हैं वो इसमें पैसा लगाएं. बस यही लिखा था मैंने इसमें. ओके, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ कोर्स शुड टेक केयर ऑफ faculty development, because teachers play a central role in engineering education system. It is the teacher who teaches, not the online and MOOCs, etc. Please, I am sorry to say this thing, but unless teacher is there for interaction, for explanation, then your education is incomplete. Okay, anyway, our moral commitments, every one of us know by now. We should provide better education, better service to the society, better products to the industry, and better citizen, best citizen to our country. Okay, proposed roadmap, objective corporate readiness initiative to create awareness among students undergoing technical education about corporate working and culture, increase their employability through enhanced performance at selection interviews. There should be proper emphasis on imparting students soft skills, modular employability skills, enhancement of technical competence. Okay, स्टूडेंट शुड बी गिवन, ये मैं नहीं करूँगा, ये बहुत सिंपल सी बातें हैं. ओके, इम्पैक्ट ऑफ वैल्यू एडेड एजुकेशन ऑन सोसाइटी, एन एक्ट ऑफ नेशनल बिल्डिंग, दिस इज ऑल राइट. इट गिव्स यू सेल्फ रिलायंस, आपका कोई हाथ नहीं मरोड़ सकता. आई रिमेंबर दोज डेज in 70s or so, then USA said, we will not give anything to BARC. We said, okay, don't give. And really that was a golden time in the history of BRC. And we became self-sufficient, self-reliant. So that is why you have to be. Okay? We are, ye hai chota sa. We are the largest democracy and second largest population country in the world. And further to our advantage, no other country, including China and those in Europe, enjoy the kind of demographic advantage that India has at present. More than 60, not only 50, more than 60% of our population is in right age group that matters a lot for development and growth of country. इसका आप फायदा उठाइए. That is possible only when every human being can be converted to human capital through engineering education. We, the human capital, are the subsystems of the integrated system, the nation. Our nation cannot afford its human capital either to go waste or to become obsolete. ये अगर obsolete हो गया, मैं कल यहाँ रख दूंगा, दूसरा मंगा लूंगा. अगर मैं obsolete हो गया, तो क्या करूंगा? So that is why we cannot afford our capital, human capital, to go waste or obsolete. Okay, I think we should come together, join our hands. All right, common understanding. We have to learn from one another and share our experiences, how we can improve our teaching methods and become better and better teachers. Let us come together and prepare ourselves to face the challenges, create nationwide environment for imparting value-added quality education, providing readily employable skilled manpower to our industries and contribute in our mission, make in India our journey towards developed nation. Okay? ये मुझे थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है slides. Arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. This I really like this one. Okay? Then God has given us our untapped infinite potential of very high caliber. We are not using, hardly using 7 to 8%. Einstein was found to be the best one to use around 12 to 13%. Okay? So now you can imagine, वो जो आपकी जो कथाओं में जो वो है कि विश्वामित्र अब यहाँ है वहाँ है. Yes. Unless I prove it wrong, I cannot say that it was wrong. Okay? Well, you see? Now, and time, of course, management of time. And again, many of my friends have said this thing. I also like this thing. It gives me inspiration. It gives me to work and to work. That is karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan ma karmphal hetur bhurma te sango sattva akarmani. Okay? With this, my dear friends, I thank you very much for your patience. सॉरी मैडम, आपका टाइम मैंने थोड़ा ऑफसेट कर दिया.
Properly.
Mr. Dubey, please join us on stage for giving the speaker mementos. To Professor K.C. Singhal, Vice Chancellor, NIMS. To Dr. D.D. Shukla, Principal, Alpha College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. Dr. Surendra, Director, Rajasthan Institution of Engineering and Technology, Jaipur. We request you all for a group photograph. We request you all to also give us your feedback forms after the sessions are over.